Good evening, everybody. Once again, it's your boy SuperSquid. We're back with the Amigos Racing Team Championship, and today we are jumping into Tier 1 instead for Round 2 of the ART Championship from Series 8, I believe we're on now. It's been going a hell of a long time. We're just waiting for all of our entrants to rejoin the lobby before we get going. As you can see, from the from our top ranking drivers to the bottom, we've got Dan Schneider and Play Dutchy. I'm commentating after joining the track eventually because Gran Turismo is an absolute mess of a game. We've got Beardy McBeard, Hockers, Lango, Butcher Boy, Uncle Darren, DeJovis, Tim Pro, Terminator, Websons, V12, and I'm not too sure how many more we're waiting on exactly, but we should have more or less a full lobby. If you want to get involved in some incredible league racing across a variety of disciplines, encompassing a wide range of ability levels, get yourself into our Discord following the link in our description. There's something for everyone, whether you're Europe based or we've got stateside championships as well, no matter the age range or ability. And of course, there's one person I'm aiming for tonight. It's Mrs. Websons. We know Websons is racing tonight. Just waiting for him to be in the lobby. There he is now. And Mrs. Websons, if you're watching, I love you and I miss you. And ditch this guy. He's not worth your pain. I'm the one you're after, really. So as you can see here, we are going to be driving around Alsace today, not Alsace, as some of our friends seem to call it. Alsace. We're in far eastern of France, bordering Germany. Doing the full championship circuit, not the new test course that was introduced a little while ago. I think you probably remember it if you've had to do the license test in the Samba bus. That drove me absolutely crazy. But it should be an exciting race in the Group 3 machinery. Now we've all got a mid-engine rear-wheel drive selection of cars on offer for today, and it seems that from what I saw in the practice session, almost everybody has gone for the Porsche 911, except for, I think, two drivers. I think it's DeJovis and Beardy in the McLaren. So I have to say, once everybody gets on track, then hopefully we'll get going in a few moments. So I think in terms of our likely drivers to be on the top step of the podium today, it was again Dan and Dutchy, well known for the incredible pace, no matter what the track, no matter what the car. Hopefully the control's working now. I think they might have disconnected for a little while, so let's see how it's going now then. Let's see if they're all ready to go. Yeah, I was hoping I haven't dropped my controller throughout all of that stream there. Would have been a bit of a pain. Got a bit of a dodgy port, I think, on my controller. Well, we've got Uncle Darren is ready to go at least in his bright pink Porsche. We're waiting for one. Okay, well there's always one, isn't there? Have a look and see if we can maybe scroll through our Discord and see who that is that we are waiting for. I see that someone is having issues joining the lobby. Hoggers, let me know privately. Well, in that case, hopefully while my controller stops disconnecting itself, we're running through some of the settings. As we said, we're at Alsace, Group 3 MR cars today. The guys are going to have 3 flying laps to set their fastest time, then we're going to jump straight into our race. We've got ×4 tyre wear, ×5 fuel rate, we've got light damage, and we've got compulsory soft and medium tyres. Now, with the intense load you'll be getting on those outside tyres, those long sweeping right-handers as well, left-handers, sorry. Oh no, right-handers, they are right-handers. I'm sure we see those outside tyres on the outside left starting to get some struggles. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys can manage their tyres as well. With their not so long ago update with the MR cars, they seem to really be understeery, at least from what I find of them, where before they were very oversteering, hard to drive. I think nowadays, as soon as you put your foot down, they just seem to push straight out into the exit of the corner and almost off the track. I think we're waiting for Wolfie, our Irish driver, in this series. Seems to have some issues connecting to the lobby. Hopefully he'll be in the not too distant future. I guess what we'll do then, just while waiting for everyone, I think I might jump on track. Just do a quick tour of Alsace while we're here. Let's see if we can join the lobby at any point. Obviously, being in the Aston, it's not the car we're going to be seeing on the actual race today, but if we can just get a little bit of the racing action in just while we're waiting for everyone else to get themselves ready to go. You can see here we'll be heading through his long left hand to make sure we keep nice and tight to the apex, and then try and get it in a straight line on the brakes in the downhill braking zone. Risk of the fronts locking up there, so be really easy on the brakes there. Power out, use all of the curb. I almost use a bit too much of it and then some. Running out wide to get a nice tight line into this left-hander, then pushing back out as far wide as we can. Not quite used to all the track there, of course I'm trying to take it easy for you guys on YouTube. Braking at the rumble strip down to third gear in this Aston, nip the brakes there, run out nice and wide onto apex there, and then a tight right-hander. Be careful about the rumble strip, it can cause you to throw the back of the car out. At fifth gear, braking, down 2 gears, again another downhill braking zone, it's one to be tricky of. They got turned a little bit too early there, so I compromised my exit. Another really infamous long right-hand bank corner. I'm going to go down to 4th gear, try and feather the throttle on the brakes until I can get that late apex. There it is, maybe a little bit too late. Through the penalty zone and the second start-finish line for the second layout here. And then we're going to try and brake in as straight line as we can. Down to 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Oh, maybe a little bit too late on the brakes there. That's going to cost me my exit. And a spin for the cameras. But never mind, we're heading back out that corner then. Be much faster through here normally, try and make sure that you don't do what I've done. Of course, then hit the exit of the track. Let's put one more spin on there as well for everybody. And a failed J-turn to boot. And the hardest corner of this track, you know, if I've not made them more complex enough already, is likely to be the downhill braking zone here. Again, you get lots of lock-up on these front tyres. Making sure that they don't brake too late, they'll be into this blue and orange wall. Nice to make it Amigos colour for us. A double braking zone there, heading out nice and wide, as close as you dare to the wall. Over the line, I guess we'll give that one more shot now that the car's in a better state. Let's see if we can set anything vaguely near a good time. Of course, I'm only on the pad today, so I'm not going to be getting at the wheel for a hot lap. Webster's is having time of his life. It's a dreadful demo lap from me. JRM has made himself known. We've got some JRM things going on the track. If you're not sure what JRM things are, you've probably seen about 2 of them by now. But they slow it down into that downhill right-hander again. Again, it's really important that you get that late apex. Use as much of the track as you can, but not that much. I'm really putting on a terrible show now for you guys watching at home. And now everyone's starting to tune in just on time for me to perform a terrible outlap. Let's see if we can maybe nail this right-hander here. Yeah, it's not so fun on the controller. But it must be said they've made a real effort to make the vibration realistic in the controller, but like the brakes sensitive as well. You've really got to clamp them down on that trigger. Yes, of course, your friend Willie D, who's still playing on X and Square. Don't know how he does that. We've got Lays there in the chat saying Amigos racing team is the place to be. It definitely is the place to be, but unfortunately for me, Alsace is not the place I ought to be. I ought to be back on the driving experience, I suppose. I don't know if I've even done this one yet. I've been a bit scared of it, I think. Just going to take a better line through there. There we go, it's not too bad. Webson says stick to Rocket League. Actually, I'm a dab hand at Rocket League, I must say. Definitely better Rocket League than I am on this on my pad. So I'll give you a game of Rocket League if you like. Jeremy, let me say hello to Mrs. Webson's. I don't want to think of Mrs. Webson's right now. I'm going into the last corner. This could go very wrong. Oh, I think there we go. Saved it there. I was talking about Mrs. Webson's earlier, but for all I know, my microphone might have disconnected. So, Mrs. Webson, if you're still watching, it's not my best showing. Let's give it one more go, see if I can get any better than a 156. If we're going to throw any more racing drive excuses into this, I normally play on the wheel. I normally normally race in the bumper cam as well, so I've got all the excuses out of the way. As I believe it looks like everyone else has decided they're done waiting for Wolfie. And I think I'm done. I think I'm done as well. We're going to leave it to the pros, I think. So I'm going to exit the track quickly so that my time isn't counted. I have to join the track again so I make sure we can all start the lobby together. And let's jump on board with someone that hopefully knows what they're doing. Let's pick V12. He's gone for an interesting half and half livery there for Amigos. And again, we said that the Porsche 911 seems to be the car of choice for many people, though having said that, we've got Lango and De Jovis in the McLaren 650S. Terminator there, fourth out on track in his Porsche. Normally sporting some kind of livery that tells that Disney are evil or COVID is a hoax, but today it seems to be quite simple, black and green. Beatty there, and a very interesting recreation of the Formula 1 McLaren there. Booked a boy in a what looks like a very stained 911, perhaps a barn find kind of homage there. Dan Schneider in the 911 there, the black and gold Chopard livery. I think it's one you get when you buy the car anyway. Tim Pro in his white and orange and black 911, looks very nice there. A little Red Bull homage there, I think. Hocker's in his yellow and blue Lightning Bolt 911. Webson's in the BWT, iconic pink and white livery there. You can see also Stuart Victorious on the Mercedes, the 24 Hours of Nürburgring not so long ago. Uncle Darren in his forever pink and yellow combination. I think we've got Play Dutchy there as well in the Venom 911. Very interesting livery there, very nice. They've parked it on a spot for us to see it as well. So of course my 156 there, really not the time for anyone to be aiming for. If anything, I've just got to hope that doesn't mess up the grid for people who are trying to set their laps. So as we say, they go 3 flying laps, and then they'll be on their way for the start of the race. Let's jump on board with Beatty McBeard. Can't get the in-car camera thing for some reason, that's not very helpful. Let's run on the bumper camera instead then. They're braking just at the start of the rumble strip, they're down to second gear, a nice tight apex, and flat to the floor, running out nice and wide to exit turn 1. Now, I'm not sure the McLaren is to be the handling car of the two compared to 911, but it'll definitely be the power car with that, what reminds it, a 4-litre twin turbo V8 if I remember rightly. Could be wrong though, with a Terminator also goes slightly wrong up there as well. Again, all that feathering the throttle through these long, almost infinite length corners. Now finding out into 5th gear. He's definitely ahead of my time, so I'm sure we'll see that getting absolutely eclipsed as they head around onto the track. As my reminder to put my phone on silent. So let's have a look through as Beardy heads around through the second sector here. Now on towards the huge bank corner here at Alsace. Of course, there's probably multiple different lines you could try here, but everyone's trying to go for that ultra late apex and straighten out the exit. But he's gone a little bit wide there, but maybe trying to preserve the momentum over the racing line. Easy 4 seconds up on my time. So hopefully I should be starting at the back of the pack, which is the intention anyway. See, Beattie's now starting to catch up to some traffic in front of us. We've got Terminator just ahead there, and I think the Yovis is just popping out of view as well. So we're going to have to see if anyone ends up impeding each other, but also who's going to be on pole, I should say, as the first few laps are underway. So Beattie there, leaving the last corner, close as he can to the wall, and cross the line. It's going to be a 1:51.9. Puts him on provisional pole after his first flying hot lap. I'll probably shuffle back through the list a little bit. I'm sure Dan is going to have something to say about that as he crosses the line. And just pips in there with a 1:51.72. So Dan currently on pole by just under 2/10. He's got 2 more laps left in a nice little ride on board with Dan instead then for a little while. See how his lap compares. Also interesting to note that he's starting on the medium tyres. I believe Beattie was on the soft tyres, so it looks like there's going to be quite a world of pace there from Dan yet to come once he starts his soft stint. Of course, the drivers will have to start the race on their qualifying compound, so you might see Beattie make up a place at the start, having used his soft tyres, but that could come back to Dan later. As he throws his mediums in the bin, Dan now a quarter of a second up on his previous best time. And as we get some more wonderful scenic shots here of the daffodils, I believe they're here now, us heading down into that long left-hander, trying to just gauge when to put his foot down. He's just gone a little bit too wide for the throttle to avoid any crazy moments as you've seen from me earlier. I think Dan probably knows now he's going to calm this one down, not cook the tyres anymore, and save for another lap. Also, as he knows that he's got another driver just behind him. Play Dutchy there's across the line, only 0.02 of a second down on Dan Schneider. So this is going to be a Dutch front row, as I predicted from the looks of things. But who is going to be on the top spot? That is the question. Let's follow the round with Dutchy then, as we see him taking the long sweeping left before the banked right. A much neater line there than Dan for his second lap. Let's see where he decides to turn. He's going quite aggressive through the start of that corner, and then maybe lifting off, downshifting to third for the rotation, and then pushing hard through that corner, forward into fifth for a nudge about 150 miles an hour there as he puts on the brakes. Aggressive downshifting there, no throttle, just let it coast through the apex, and now back on the power. Up into third gear, maybe about 105 miles an hour on the apex, maybe, yeah, that's on his way out. Heading over the crest now to see from his point of view, just whereabouts is he going to brake as he heads towards that arch. And just before the rumble strip, going to brake in the straight line down to third, second, just to clip the background a little bit more, and then powers out. Had to correct on the throttle there, he's going to run into the wall with a bit of understeer. He finds himself nudging Dan off of P1 by 0.07 of a second, so they've all got one flying lap left. Dutchy's the man to beat at 1:51.650. Let's check in on Uncle Darren, who is often one who finds himself in the top 4 or 5 when qualifying. Prefers to start on the softer tyre, prefers to go aggressive from the get-go, and it will compromise his second stint, but he's always one to drive hard at the very start of the race. It's almost like a rhubarb and custard Porsche there, flying over the tarmac as he heads around the long sweeping left here, marking the end of the first sector. He's 0.3 up on Dutchy as he heads out of the first sector. So a very promising start here from Uncle Darren. He needs to make sure he keeps that consistency through the rest of the lap. He can be absolutely blindingly quick in qualifying, but sometimes it's the race pace that might fall away. He has shown consistency issues before, and he's getting sideways there, I think, as he heads around the long left-hander there. You can see as well from the graphic on the bottom left of your screen there, the rear tyres in particular are starting to take a beating. Of course, these Group 3 cars don't come with brake bias modifiers as standard, and they're not allowed when the tuning is off, so we have to make sure these guys do take care of their tyres. Darren's down now to just 1/8 of a second purple, but I think that line through the right-hand hairpin there is going to compromise all the time he's lost there. And I can see now as he heads over the crest, we're checking him in one more time as he heads down into his final braking zone. Again, braking in a straight line, easy on the downshift there to avoid locking the rear axle. Nips the apex there, now he's flat, better on the exit there than Dutchy, but where is he going to qualify? It's going to be a 151.658, so better than Dan, but not so good as Dutchy. Takes another half second out of his best. And a 151.1, an incredible time from the Flying Dutchman there. We've got, I think, that seems to be just about everyone has done their qualifying laps, so last one over and then started, so I think I only have to jump on track quickly, which I have. That's good. So in that case, hopefully I'm at the back of the grid. Be a real pain in the butt if I'm not. I think we should be fine. Yeah, I think Booked has done 154, so we should be good to go. So just got to remember to not get too carried away. Make sure I jump off the track. So, being the key racer that I am, I might accidentally get involved. Okay, so fortunately, I'm not going to interfere with the start of the race. Let's back out of there. Let's get back into spectator mode. And the lights are out. Oh, a big jump start there from Darren, it seems. Unless, of course, he just managed to time it very, very well. I'm so very surprised at that. I have to see what's gone on there. But that puts him 1.5 seconds clear of Dutchy in P2 and the rest of the pack. So, not too sure what's gone on there. Dutchy in second, then Dan in third, Jovis in fourth, Terminator in fifth. Well, both in fourth and fifth. They're side by side there. Beardy side by side with Hoppers as well. 6th and 7th respectively. Let's see who's going to have the inside line. To be Beardy. A slight nudge from Jovis. Terminator getting slightly sideways, but they all made it through the first right-hand hairpin. Well, let's say the second one if you're not counting turn one. So we've got BD8 is now ahead of Hockeys in P7. Lango is 8th. Webster's 9th. V12 in 10th. Tim Pro 11th, and Booked Boy, I'm not sure what happened to Booked Boy, he's on the hard tyres, so maybe he's not had the best getaway compared to everyone else and finds himself at the back of the grid for the time being. Just say Uncle Dan with a mysteriously quick getaway there. Let's have a chat with Hockers, I think the race host at the end, to see what exactly has gone on there. And also, so it seems that in fact maybe with the request to the hard tyres, it seems that maybe they can just use any tyres they like as long as they use the mediums for today. I may have misread something earlier. Yes, so mediums are mandatory, but it's like the softs and the hards are also available. So Books will go for the hards, maybe a longer stint on the hards and a short one on the mediums to end it. Darren though very slow out that last corner. Here comes Play Dutchy. On the inside, you see in the mirror there, he's definitely clear. Let's have a quick look. Darren is also quite late on the brakes as he's Terminator sideways. It was like Dan must have had an incident while I was checking out the race stats, because he's now in P4. So we've got Dutchy crossing the line first there, Darren in second, Terminator third, Dan in fourth. You can see there Jovis is in 5th place, Beardy in 6th, Hockers in 7th, Lango in 8th place. So we've got Webston's trying to defend there from V12, who's also left the door open. Tim Pro. Webston's all very sideways there, nudging the grass, but he's kept it in one piece, fortunately. And Booked Boy just heading out of turn one there in the back of your shot. Try and avoid Webster and Tim Pro and see what he sees. Like he's probably aware he should have a car just on his outside, I believe. You can see there, just in his mirror there. But he's managed to keep V12 away for another day. So now to see who's really going to start pushing hard on the medium tyres and who is going to go aggressive on the softs and try and maybe do the longer, more conservative stint in the second part of the race. Good to see Joe's there, a very quick cut there. Joe's being urged on the grass by Dan, but holds it on the track. Very well played in the middle of a sandwich there between Beardy and Dan Schneider. So not the place he wants to be. He's lost 2 spots as a result. Perhaps another one as Hockers goes around outside, and he does, and Joris is spun on the inside. That's a big crash for Diovis. Finds himself down in 11th place, make that 12th as Books Boy gets around him, and he's gone around again for good measure. And if you were tuning in the stream earlier, you know what that's like, and I know what that's like. Feel horrible now for Diovis. A really unfortunate incident for him there. That puts him to the rear of the grid. But it's not over yet though. Tim Pro trying to get around the outside of Lango, but Lango has that McLaren as wide as can be. Let's see, is there anywhere for Tim Pro to go as they head onto the final corner? He's gone for a slightly later exit there, but it's not quite worked. I don't think he's catching Lango on the exit, but there's not going to be a move at this part as Lango starts to move slightly across there to defend that spot, so no move there. Webson's though sideways into the entry, and he's spun. I've got no idea how he's done that, but Tim probably using the distracted Lango for a chance to go around the outside. He's made it work as well. Fair play to him. Perhaps Lango saving some fuel and decided to let Tim Pro go if he wants to be ahead of him. Of course, can use that slipstream to try and save some of the fuel load on the car in the first place. So Tim Pro up into P7. Still got about 3 seconds away from Hockers though in P6. Beardy's on the back of a 4-car train. It's like Dutchy has started to pull away a little bit. You can see them just exiting the shot on that right-hand corner. Beardy though trying to close down Dan Schneider, who's also on the trail of Terminator and Uncle Darren. Let's right on the board then with this awesome new cover passenger seat view here with Beardy McBeard. You see, I think he's rocking the Lewis Hamilton race suit there and the Ayrton Senna helmet. Of course, two drivers very famously associated with McLaren. Let's see if Beardy McBeard can show any of his championship winning potential behind the wheel of his 650S. In 6th gear there, trying to brake, trail braking there, now all the pressure in a straight line, down to 1st gear, hit the apex, flat to the floor, early shift to 2nd. It's very good technical driving, but I think Dan just has the edge on him there as he pulls up the hill, or he's lost time behind Terminator, maybe a compromised left-hander up the hill has caused Dan to have to give some time back there. Let's see how Beardy does into the downhill braking zone. You can see his front tyres are starting to show signs of wear. And of course, all these downhill braking zones are going to put more effort on them, perhaps lock those front tyres I mentioned earlier. So he's got to be careful now. You see Beardy there is just about half shifting, I think. Try and save some fuel, put less strain on the tyres as he accelerates out of the corners. He's starting to lose a little bit of time to Dan though, so we'll jump aboard here with Dan in P4. Has he got anywhere to go past the Terminator? Is Terminator going to get past Uncle Darren? Terminator's going very wide there, maybe a little bit extra momentum, or just trying to scare Darren into a mistake. See that Dan had to really correct the steering as he puts his foot down out of that hairpin, getting slightly out of shape, but makes it stick. And now see, we can see that Terminator's getting a little bit shaky there. Maybe it's just a bit of lag coming in there from our Danish driver. Dan has to be really careful behind Terminator. He's really getting held up here. This is bringing Beardy back into the fight. And I think what we'll do, we'll jump on board with Beardy one more time from his wheel view this time and see just how close this trio are. We can see that they're still pulled away from Dutchy by about at least, I'd say, 4 seconds. So it's not doing any of them any good to be stuck behind each other. Dan going for a very wide line to try and cut back on Terminator, who's also gone quite wide on the exit there. Oh, there could be a double cut back on maybe, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen for the time being. Dan again, look at the inside Terminator. Terminator covers that off very, very sensibly. Dan's gone quite wide though into this hairpin. That's going to allow B to catch up just a little bit more, but Dan with the straight line exit is starting to pull away one more time. These three really are getting very close. Beardy catching a slide there as he heads up the hill. These three up front really are holding each other up. Terminator is now past Darren. Dan having to get on the anchors really aggressively there to avoid sliding into him as well. So Darren must have made a mistake on the braking zone there into those final chicane. Now they really do have to get their foot down. You see Dutchy there having set at 151.5 as his best lap. So it's, you know, identical to think what was his second qualifying lap. So he's still pushing quite hard. I say pushing quite hard. Dan and Beardy pushing onto the grass there. Trying to keep in contact with these front two here of Darren and Terminator. Looks like Terminator has just got the edge there. Dan looks for another move on the inside, but it's still not quite on there. Darren shuts the door in his face. You see that Hocker's just starting to lurk in the background there as well. So these four might become a 5 if they keep holding each other up as much as they are. We see though from Terminator, Dutchie has got a 7-second lead. So this squabbling quartet here really are allowing Dutchie to run over the win, and of course Dan will be absolutely fuming at this. I think now a driver of his calibre should be chasing Dutchie down for the win rather than being hounded for what is now P4, as Beardy is really reeling him in there. If you watch through his long right hand bank corner here, Dan again running a little bit wide, maybe trying to keep the momentum, but it's costing him on the exit though. Terminator pulling away from Darren, who maybe is starting to suffer with tyre wear. Again, we know he goes aggressive on his soft tyres, but he's not made it work for him. And Dan looking for a loop at the inside there as Darren's tyres really are not holding up very well. You have to defend on this uphill corner. That's going to slow down Dan, which means Beardy might have another run up the hill. And he is now past Darren, as is Dan. So Darren down into P5 now. So he's really not having the best of races here. This soft tyre strategy has not panned out for him. He's going to be only slower on the mediums. So he's really have to control his pace now and control his race. As those four settle into rhythm, going to suffer a little bit further back down the order. We saw Hockester in 6th, Tim Pro in 7th. We've got V12 in 8th, Booked Boy in 9th, Webson's on his tail in P10. There's Lango in the background there in P11, so he's not had a particularly good race, it seems there. Let's run on board with Webson's. Let's see how he's doing at the moment. So he's only about 3/10 here off of Booked Boy, and a good exit out this corner could reel in some extra time and put him in a chance for a move heading onto the next aggressive right-hander through the braking zone. So let's see how he takes this long left hand. He's definitely more close to the apex. He's definitely reeling him in, but is there a move on? No, I think he's just too far away. You can see that he's definitely managing the car better. Booked Boy getting not quite as much runoff there from the exit of the corner. I think it's not a matter of if anymore, but just a matter of when, as Webson starts to hassle Booked Boy for that P9. Just a little bit of lag here as he's cast up and jumps sideways, which of course is very ominous for me, trying to keep up with who's going to cause an accident or if it's just how the game's going. Webson's right on the tail there, less than a tenth in it. Is there a move into the chicane? That'd be very brave. I don't think it is. I think the more focused on just keeping the car steady in a straight line. Booked Boy still holding Webson's fairly well. Lango is starting to catch up to this pair now, I think, as Webson struggles to find a way past. Then again, Webson might be happy just to sit behind him for a little longer, try and just leech off of the slipstream as he saves a little bit extra fuel. Oh, they're very tight into the braking zone there, down to the second to last corner. Webson's there, he's going for a late cutback, but he's just kicked the wall. That's going to kill some of his momentum, I think. But he's looking for a bit up the inside there. He's going for a late move. No, he's going to leave that one there. So those two still squabbling for P10. Lango in 11th there. Joey's, after his incident at the start of the race and his double spin, is still at the back of the pack. But this man here, Dutchie, walking away with this race now, 11 seconds up on Terminator. I think it's probably, what's that, must be 11 seconds? That's 4 seconds in a lap. So excellent pace here from a flying Dutchman. Terminator in P2, still got Dan hot on his heels, but those front tyres you can see now are absolutely worn to shreds. And here comes Dan the crew at the inside there, very brave. Hoping for there's no understeer from that Porsche, go at the inside there, but Terminator still has the inside for the next corner. Dan hopes to go all the way around the outside. That's another very bold move, but it's not happening. Let's run on board there with him to see where he's going to go. There might just be a slight contact there as they both hass each other through this bank corner. And it looks like Terminator has finally conceded the place, but maybe helped with some contact there. I'm not too sure. And he's quite a way back now. He's lost 2.3 seconds to Dan. So there must have been some contact there. But either way, you can see from the bottom left of your screen there, his soft tyres are absolutely knackered. It's only lap 7, so he's going to have to jump in soon. I'll assume maybe get another pair of soft tyres in for maybe another 7 laps or so. And then maybe mediums for the rest of the race, we'll have to see. Because I don't think it's worth running those soft tyres for much longer. They're in a very, very poor state. Let's see what he tries to do. He's no straight. Oh, it looks like their Uncle Darren has gone off the track there. Beardy dives into the pits. Darren joining very dangerously. It must be said, almost took out Tim Pro on the rejoin to the track there. V12 just about makes it through as well into 6th. But Uncle Darren now into 7th as Beardy is pitted. Lango is now 8th. In the back of your shot there, I think is Djovis coming around the last corner as Beardy is in the pits. Djovis also pits as well now. This promotes Book to Boy back up to 9th. And Webson's into 10th again. As Beardy now leaves the pits with almost a full tank of fuel and a medium set of tyres, or a set of medium tyres I should say. And here's Joe, as you can see there, incredible crash damage on the front of the McLaren there as he refuels, not quite filling all the way, but just enough for another stint on the soft tyres it seems. Dutchy now 14 seconds ahead of Dan Schneider in P2, so really has made the most of those squabbling trio that we saw earlier. So I have to see now how Dan can maybe use the strategy instead to reel in Dutchy. He's a heck of a long way back. I say 14 seconds is going to be a lot of time. And around a track that takes as much out of the tyres as it does here at Alsace, it's going to be hard to tell if it's worth going for maybe a double stint on the softs or one stint on the hards, because the softs will be so much faster than the hards around this circuit. But of course the pit loss will be quite a remarkable time as well. As Dan has spun completely on his own on the final corner. Hockers will be getting the yellow flag notifications, but let's just see where Dan is. He rejoins just on the exit of the corner there. The Hockers will be very glad to see this, knowing that one of our top drivers is susceptible to making mistakes. Terminator dives into the pits there, so that puts Tim Pro up into 4th, V12 up into 5th place. Darren will take 6th back from the Terminator, and Lango will be in 7th. There's Book to Boy at the back of your shot there. That Terminator fills up with fuel. We've got where's Book to Boy? He's here now. There's Webson's crossing the line there for P9. So Book to Webson's now seem to have split up maybe an instant between those two as well. But Beardy will come back over the line to take P10. But where is Terminator? He's still filling up with fuel. Been in the pits an incredibly long time. This must be agonising for him. So fuel's finally in. He's got a medium set of tyres on, a full tank of fuel. And if the softs are only doing about 8 laps, I can only imagine, as he crosses the pit lines there and incurs another 3-second penalty, he's going to be ruining that mistake. I can only assume though, for a medium set of tyres, it must get taken to maybe about, let's say, laps 17, 18 comfortably. He might just get to the end, but it's not going to be comfortable. Let's have a look now with Dutchy. You can see he's got the flashing fuel indicator now, so I'm sure we'll see him pit fairly soon. He's done his required stint on the medium tyres, so now I have to see the fastest man on track. Is he going to go aggressive and go for maybe a set of softs? Is he going to go maybe conservative and take the hards? Well, there could be a multitude of options available to the guys here today. As we see Dan also on flicking red fuel, so he's have to come into the pits very soon. Hockers might have enough in him for one more lap, as may Tim Pro as well. Let's jump on with Tim Pro for a moment, as we see him following Hockers into the final chicane. You see Dan that has kept it in one piece this time. Dan dives into the pits there, 4% fuel. Hockers and Tim Pro will go around for one more lap, as will V12. Dutchy leaves the pits there, 68% fuel and a soft set of tyres. This should be enough to see him do another maybe 7 laps comfortably on these. Really can rag that car out as aggressively as he wants, maybe do one final stop at the end of the race. He's got V12 just behind him in P5. Lango is in 5th place now. He's still yet to stop though. You can see his fuel is running very low. Webson's is in P6. Beardy is in 7th. Has now jumped Dan, courtesy of his incident on the final corner. Book to Boy will need to put on a set of mediums at some point. He's running low on fuel. Dan is released from the pits on a soft set of tyres and a full tank of fuel, interestingly there. Of course, that extra fuel tank of fuel is going to weigh him down in this stint and cause more tyre wear, but it means he won't have to refuel as much on his next stint, his final stint. Jovo is in P9 there. Uncle Darren seems to be having a really horrible time with these soft tyres. He's still yet to pit, so he can be at the very back of the pack, I'd assume, by the time he makes his first stop. His soft tyres are absolutely knackered, and with a full tank of fuel to put in as well, he's going to be very far behind. Terminator, though, has a fresh set of medium tyres and about maybe 80% fuel, so it'll be an easy overtake for him in the near future. Let's have a quick look at these two then. So I'm sure even on the harder compounded tyres, he can probably be quite a bit later on the brakes, more aggressive out of the corners, and it's a matter of time. It's an if, it's a when, not an if. Let's have a look at when the Terminator will make his move. He'll make his move here in the left-hand hairpin. As again, Darren running incredibly wide there. Just nothing left on those tyres. He's got to get in and get rid of them, it seems. Booker Boy in P12 that has made his stop, so he should easily clear Darren when he makes his stop. Hockers has conceded P1 to Dutchy there. I think, of course, knowing the faster driver, not getting his way, keep his own race as fast as it can be. Timpro dives into pits. Hockers going around again for one more lap. He's been very brave with those mediums. He's managed them very well. So he might well go for maybe a one-stop race just on the mediums. It'd be interesting to see how he pans this one out then. Of course, everyone seems to be going for two stoppers there, as Lango, Webstons and Timpro are now all in the pits at the same time. V12 again on his mediums, but also done very well for his fuel management. I mean, he's only considering a one-stop as well. Beardy McBeard in P4, but he's probably have to make a second stop given the amount of fuel he's got left in the car. As will, I think, Dan, because his soft lock tyres will likely not last for, I think there's 11 laps he'll have to have put them on for. I believe Dios will be making another stop from P6. Timpro likely will as well, putting us on soft tyres. See that Terminator though has really caught up to him, I think, as he's come out of the pits there. So with the one lap older medium tyres, but with them up to temperature, it will be an interesting battle between those two. And he's just managed to get out in between Timpro and Lango as well. Have to see if he can reel Tim in on the mediums, or is it just about waiting for his softs to fall off. Let's see if we'll shuffle through a pack if anybody is engaged in close racing, as Darren has made his pit stop finally. He's got a full tank of fuel and a fresh set of medium tyres. Let's see him do at least another 10 laps on those, I'm sure, provided he keeps the fuel in one piece. Dutchy here taking us on to lap 12 as Hockers and V12 dive in the pit simultaneously, so they must be going for the one-stop strategy. Let's see how that pans out for them. Beardy should easily clear them to take P2, but I think Beardy will have another stop to make, so can he push hard and make sure that they don't overcut him on the one-stop strategy? We're right on board, I think, with Dio, because he might be the closer contender to them as they need to leave the pits. So Dan jumps up into P3, Josie's coming around the final corner now, but they are still in the pit lane. We've got Timpro, Terminator, Lango are all going to fly past them, but I think they are only going to have that temporarily as they both leave the pits now. Hockers with a full tank of fuel just on the inside there, but he has to leave the space for Lango and he will take P9. Booker Boy has just about got ahead of the pair of them. So where's V12? V12 in 7th there, so he did manage to escape just ahead of Hockers, it seems. I completely missed sight of that one. But has very slightly underfueled the car in comparison, so we have to see just how he manages his race there. A little bit of fuel saving there. You can see a little bit of a short shift as well. So as far as I can tell, I think V12 and Hockers are the only drivers going for the one stop, so I have to see how their strategy pans out to Dutchy, who is about 50 seconds ahead of the pair of them. Should about have a pit stop in hand over them, but of course a real risk of being undercut for everybody else, as V12 looks to try and undercut Lango on the inside of the long right-hander. Lango had more momentum though, and now Hockers is right behind V12, but if I were these two on the same strategy and wildly upset to everyone else, I really would not fight. I would just try and keep each other going as fast as you can, avoid the conflict, wait for everyone else to pit, because they are going to have a huge strategic advantage on them, provided they can keep their cars in one piece. See there, Lango really trying to keep his car on the track, I think, heading out of that uphill left-hander. As I showed you earlier, it's very easy to mess up. As you can see, it sounds like there's some spin in there, possibly. There was a spin. It's like Timpro has a spin on the exit of the final corner. V12 and Hockers take one more position on their conquest back up towards the podium. And that puts Timpro down into P9. And you can see that's really taken some life out of those soft rear tyres. So our running order is currently this man here, Play Dutchy. 35.8 second lead, incredible as it is, over Beardy McBeard here in P2. He's got Dan behind him in P3 on soft tyres, much more fuel, but I'm sure we'll see these two equal out over the next few laps, as the fuel and tyre wear will show up on Dan's car, but Beardy will have this inherent slower pace on the medium tyres. Jovis is currently in P4, but depending on how his pit stops go, we'll probably see him slide down the order owing to an incident earlier in this race. Terminator in P5 is now trying to fend off Lango, it seems, in P6 there. They have started to catch up. We've got a little gaggle of cars here, stretching back from 5th to 9th, it looks like, as Timpro has started to catch them back up on the softer tyres. Let's get a view then on board with Timpro, as he chases down at Hockers and V12. So just lifting off there, a bit more lifting close to save some fuel. Down to first gear, get all that rotation out of the Porsche, shift up into second, flat out to the throttle. And the Hockers, that's very unfortunate there. Hockers has just spun coming out of the uphill left-hander. What a great race he would have had there with that one-stop strategy. It's really played with his hands. We can see more tyre smoke there from Lango and who else that was? Oh goodness me, I can't see that. He's up in front of him now. That's Terminator, it seems, having a bit of a fight there. So right now it's this man here, V12, who could be in with a real upset to everybody else, provided he keeps it on the black, as Hockers has proved can be fairly difficult. Lango, in the meantime, right on the back here of ART Terminator. Are we going to see an overtake into the hairpin? No, not quite though. Both of them a little bit wide though, maybe trying to encourage each other to brake slightly later into a mistake, but it's not happened here. Let's see if Lango can make anything happen on the exit of the left-hand. He's gone for a tighter line there. So he'll try and accelerate past Terminator, but he's got the outside line and he'll have the door closed right in his face as they head onto that 90-degree right. Looks like though he has had a better line there. He's going to take the inside line on Terminator. Maybe some very minor contact there, but I think they've both made it through unscathed. Terminator still holding inside line though. Very admirable defending from him there. And he's parked it right in front of Lango on the exit, so no momentum for him. Now you've got this long sweeping banked right. And what kind of lines we're looking for here? Terminator and Lango looking to completely miss the apex entirely there. Trying to keep more momentum and slingshot around the outside of each other. Lango trying it there, but to no avail. They have to slam on the anchors down to first gear, apexing about 45 miles an hour, back on the power as they head up the hill, making sure they try and keep it on the track. You see there the huge amounts of tyre tread there left on the track as people have gone wide. And Terminator and Lango now side by side as they head into the final corner. It's right on board with V12 as he's gotten past Timpro. He's still ahead there. No move there. Timpro looking for a move on the inside. A very late lunge there from Timpro, but no dice, I feel, as you see there now in the rear view monitor. He is behind once more. Joey's pits there from, I think it was P4. Lango at the inside of Terminator, still not getting past him at all. That 911 looking incredibly wide from the rear there. Lango getting incredibly frustrated, I'm sure. Again, that McLaren seems to have the edge in a straight line, but the Porsche will just hold its own in the corners. Terminator defending it to the inside there. Can Lango hold it wide, look for a cutback? Nobody's going to try to go around the outside, but there's a Terminator in the way. It looks like there are to be no guys for the time being. It's another late apex and a push through towards the right, but it's just not going for him right now. And there must be said as well, on medium tyres, Terminator's doing an excellent job defending from that McLaren. And I think it's just a war of attrition now, trying to keep ahead and making sure he doesn't use up too much fuel to defend there. Lago again, look at the inside, Terminator leaves in the space very courteously. Lago is finally through. Dutchy pitting from the lead there with 8% fuel. He's done with his soft tyres. B's going to have to pit on this lap as well, I believe. He'll be very close to running out on the line, having to fuel save fairly hard, I think, now. Dan will be looking to at least disrupt Dutchy, I'm sure, on the exit, but I don't think Dutchy will even see him as he prepares to leave the pit box. And he does there, 67% fuel, soft tyres. He's going to the end, no more issues for him. Danny's also going to dive into the pits, as I'm sure we'll see B dive into the pits there. So he's done his medium stint for the race. Langer will be diving into the pits surely as well. Terminator should be fine though. However, he's now to defend from V12 and Tim Pro. Really walled up on the back of him here, and I don't think Terminator's going to be able to go to the end of this race. He can get rid of those mediums. So it's going to be V12 and Tim Pro duking it out for the podium spots as Hockers re-emerges in the background there after his unfortunate error earlier. Dan jumps out the pits now to make this a three-way fight for P2. I think having seen Dutchy's play earlier, going for a lighter car, soft tyres, this should take him to the end of the race comfortably as well. The question is Tim Pro going to be the cork in the bottle that stops him getting onto P2? Because V12 has run a very clean race so far. And again, with Hockers just lurking in the back here in P5, with his one-stop strategy, he may just get the jump on Tim Pro and be looking for at least a P4, provided he keeps his nose clean. Webson should be fine for the end of the race as well. He's got a decent amount of fuel in the tank and some medium tyres, so he should be good for P6 at least. Beatty there has stopped and put on the soft tyres once more, so he's going to have to gain another 5 seconds. He's going to have to gain a second a lap on Webson's if he wants P6 off him, which is going to be a mean feat indeed, but I'm sure Beardy has it in him. Terminator there fresh out the pits as with Lango, but these two are now duking it out for P8 and 9, so we've got racing all the way to the end here as we're on lap 16. So there's Lango in P9. Jovis there coming out the pits a little bit earlier, is now in P10, just trailing these two here. Booked boy in 11th with a decent amount of fuel and some fresh tyres, and Darren in 11th with his mediums there, so not the best race for Darren. Qualified very well, but I think just needs to work on the strategic element of his racing. And Dutchy with a handy 34-second gap there over V12. It really is his race to lose, and you don't often see him do it. V12 are having to redefend quite aggressively from down there as they head into the final chicane. Let's run on board with Dan Schneider as he follows V12 out of the final corner. Of course, Dan is definitely with a much faster car right now, and I think for V12 it may just be a matter of letting him go sooner rather than later. However, if he can keep him behind and force him to use up those soft tyres, we could see a change in his fortunes. Tim Pro pits releasing Hockers into P4. This really could go any way for these blue and yellow Porsches. Seems that Dano's going to go for the inside, hoping that he can hold the outside line around this long right-hand hairpin. And he does. Clean move around the outside for Dan Schneider, using a little bit more of the exit than maybe he'd like to. That's him up into P2. I'm not going to see him pose a threat to Dutchy there with his 36-second gap, but he'll be happy with second spot at least. There's V12 in third, Hockers in P4. Webson's is in P5 there. Tim Pro is emerged from the pits in sixth, it looks like. I think he's indicating Mike's not he's going to let Beatty go anyway. He's got a fresh set of soft tyres. He's going to pose a bit of a disruption now to Beatty, as said, had to catch Webson's by about a second a lap. He is about a second and a half caught up already, but it's just not going to be enough at this rate if Tim Pro's going to hold him up. Let's jump on board then with the Beard and see what he can make happen in these last 4 laps. He's really pushed hard. They have to lift out the throttle there to avoid running over the gravel, but it still cost him a little bit of time there. Oh, he's very low the brakes there. Oh, bump there to Timpro, and Webson's as well has also gone off. Let's see what's going to happen here. I think Beard's going to let Timpro go, but Webson's was nothing to do with that. So Beardy is now clear of Webson's. Can he then get Timpro for P5? I think Uncle Darren there's left the race owing to some internet issues. Timpro will get very slidey there as well in the 911 out of that right hand in the chicane. So Beardy there up into 6th, but he should, in theory, have the pace to get past Tim. He's only got slightly less worn tyres on the Porsche, because the McLaren we know is incredibly quick down a straight line, and I do think if it's between Beardy and Timpro, my name would be on Beardy to take that spot. We'll have to see in a moment. Down the pack there, Terminator, having fought very valiantly at the start of the race, unfortunately finds himself now relegated to P8, just about holding off Lango there in 9th. Joey's in the back of his shot there, cresting the hill. He's in 10th spot there. Booked Boy at the back of the pack. Not the best race for him. And now it looks like Dutchy's just gone into time trial mode there with 2 laps there of 150.2. Oh, it seems maybe his outlap was the one 150.2. Let's see how he does now heading over the line. I'm sure at this point he's just trying to set purple laps and just flex on the rest of the grid. No such luck there. I think it's about 4/10 off of his best time. So again, it really is his race to lose. He seems to dominate anything you put him on, and we're very lucky to have him with us here at Amigos Racing Team. Down there, a good recovery from him to keep P2. Very good race for strategy for him, but he's just not had the same pace to keep up with Dutchy, and I think being sat in traffic for a while also put paid to his chance of the race win. The B12 though has run a very good race here in 3rd place. The one-stop strategy really falling well into his hands, as it has as well for this man Hockers. Despite a spin slightly earlier a few laps ago, he's managed to regain those losses, I think just based on others having to pit. Now finds himself in a well-deserved P4. Beardy's now down into 5th, hasn't got past Timpro finally. There's Timpro in 6th there. Webson's is down in 7th. Terminator and Lango is still tussling for P8. Let's jump aboard though with Lango instead and see how he can reel in the Terminator. Of course, the Terminator using all of his processing powers and Skynet knowledge to increase the gap there from our resident Brazilian, racing under the French flag, so we can get involved in some of the more interesting sport races. Of course, I think if it's maybe a competition of looks between the cars on and off today, I'll definitely go for the McLaren over the Porsche, but it seems the Porsche has been the dominant car when it's all come down to it. Lango still trying to reel in the Terminator though. He's about 3/10 of a second away as they head into the braking zone of the tight right-hander here. Reeled him in by another 1/4 of a second already. He's right under the fuse now of that Porsche. Incredibly close. They can almost look into his rearview mirror. Scared him into a late move there, gone wide, and it looks like that is just about done, I'd say, or maybe not. Terminator actually on the right-hand side. Let's see how they hold this one through the last the right-hand corner. It seems that he's got the outside corner made, but no. Terminator's gone cleaner on the outside, and in fact, he's scared, I think, Lango into making the move into the gravel trap. And all those gains he's made have now been put to no good, and a half-second penalty for his trouble. It's the last thing he wants to see. So again, some really good defensive driving there from ART Terminator. You know, when he says he'll be back, he more often than not means it. Webson's still hunting down Timpro here for P6. He's only 8/10 of a second away. But Timpro on the softer tyres really should be pulling away much quicker than he is. Maybe just being a little more conservative than Webson's. But of course, Webson's having had his spin earlier. He's got it all to play for, and he really needs to put his foot down. He's only got 2 more laps left here at Alsace. If he's shooting through one more time, Beardy is starting to reel in Hockers now. He's only 1 second away. Of course, those softer tyres are in a better state than Hockers' mediums, having done the 2 stop. And maybe being aggressive will pay off here for the Beard. as he reels in that yellow and blue 911. I think V12 is probably too far away to catch on the next lap. The Hockers has run wide there, bit of a tail slide, and Beardy's up the inside, and away he goes for P4. Great move there, taking an easy opportunity at an overtake, and Beardy finds himself almost on the podium. He's 7 seconds off of V12 though, and to grab 8 seconds in a lap would be an incredible feat. I don't think that's going to be possible for Beardy. But of course, we've seen everybody going off here today at Alsace, and it could go any which way. Let's shimmy back just a little further. We can see another pack of cars closing each other. Webson's there has lost some more time to Tim Pro, and has been turning into the wall there. Maybe a little bit of a... He's tried to break in a straight line, but having turned left, the car's just decided to go whichever way it likes. Pitches straight into the wall. Webson's into 9th, now down to 10th. There's Diovis makes his way past as well. He'll be very happy to see an overtake being made. He's got a feel for Webson. To get at that point there, he's just put so much effort into the car. Turning left, he can't catch it going right, and that's put him into the wall. Some front damage to boot, and he's running very low on fuel. And last thing he wants to do is book to Boy, only 7 seconds behind him, is have to make another pit stop and top up for fuel. I really hope he's going to stay out one more lap. Carl Webson's. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Ah, good boy, staying out. So Joe is in 9th there. Lango still trying to hunt down Terminator. Despite having lost that time to him earlier, having hit the gravel on the penalty, he has reeled him back in. This is going to be an incredible fight for the last lap. As I see, there's a spin, and it's Dutchy has finally made a mistake. It seems he's only human after all, but I don't think it's going to affect him too much as he heads over the line. We'll quickly see him have his happy moment as he heads through the last chicane. I'm sure everyone watching the stream will be glad to know that even he's susceptible to an error or two. But our resident alien play Dutchy will take the win here at Alsace. A very convincing win overall there. 35 odd seconds ahead. Let's see as Dan reels that time back in. Probably about maybe 25 seconds or so, but really it's not much of a contest at all. Dan Schneider will take P2, V12 will take P3, Beardy's 4th, Hocker's in 5th, Tim Pro in 6th, Terminator and Lango still side by side. Goodness me, what a fight this is going to be, heading into the chicane. Lets Terminator go later on the brakes, but has he got the grip in the tyres? Oh, they are nose to tail. It's going to be anyone's guess as they head into the final few corners. V12 is going to cross the line in 3rd. A very, very good job for him on the strategy there. It's going to be Beardy in 4th, I believe. Hock is in 5th, Tim Pro in 6th. But who is going to take the final corner? It's going to be Terminator leading Lango into the final turn. An incredible defence from this man here. Takes P7, a very deserving P7 for him there. Deserving more in my opinion, but a good spot for him there. Lango just running out of fuel there. We'll have P8. Jovis in 9th, good return for him. And Webson's will just pit book to Boy over the line in the final 2 spots. But here's your winner, Play Dutchy. So that was race 2 of Tier 1 in the Amigos Racing Championship Series 8. Next week I'll be returning for a mixed series of what we're calling our Amigos TCR Championship. We'll be hosted on GT Sport. I'm very excited to host it, and I hope you'll be joining me next week. Same time, same place. In the meantime, I've been SuperSquid. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening and have a great rest of your week. Take care.